Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Sex Advent Calendar, 25 days of sex education all through the month of December. I am here with Kiani Bailey, who is a sex educator with a focus in HIV and AIDS awareness and education, and they are going to be talking to me about naming your bits, which I think is a really important aspect of trans health and our embodiment of our sexuality.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. That was an awesome introduction. Yeah. So my name is Kiani Bailey. I have been doing stuff in the trans community for about 3 or 4 years now and figuring out what has been making me more comfortable with my body since I've been transitioning and since I started that. And it originally started out with just figuring out what was comfortable from head to my toes. And eventually that it came down to my bits. And it was originally really uncomfortable because you know, if you're a part of a larger society or you're with a majority of society, they're telling you everything is congruent with what is in your body, everything should feel comfortable, you should feel totally normal and natural to interact with the parts that you have. And as a person who is either transitioning or maybe just doesn't feel like they're fully attached to the body that they have, with the way that they feel inside, it feels different. It doesn't feel like it's compatible. So it was my bits that were making me uncomfortable, but it wasn't using my bits. It wasn't seeing my bits. It wasn't having people look at them. It was the fact that the words that I was using to describe my bits weren't the way that I felt about them, which made me feel not like I wasn't in the right body. Like I was using a word that has a connotation with maleness, and that didn't feel right, and that didn't feel like it was applicable to me. So finding another word that was completely different and that other people didn't really use really felt comfortable and really made me feel like empowered to use the bits that I had, and not only use the bits that I had, but made me feel more comfortable in my body overall. Made me feel more comfortable just feeling like I could talk to other people about what was pleasurable or what felt good. And like it ended up making me feel a lot more comfortable talking to just people in large groups about my bits, because I felt excluded a lot from those conversations before, because if your genitals don't match what you necessarily appear like on the outside, people kind of freak out when you use the actual medical definition for what bits you have. So if you use the word that you feel comfortable with, which in my case it's bunny, I use the word bunny because I think it's cute. I think it applies to the bits that I have. It describes them, to just even go from not feeling like you have any idea where to start to being like, oh, my bits are called my bear. I really like having my bear stroke. So finding words that like make you feel comfortable or make you feel happy is a really, really good, strong way to make you feel empowered in your own body and empowered with your partner if you have one, or partners if you have one. Or like even just not naming your bits, but even just describing the way that it feels in a positive way can be really helpful. So taking the focus off of it being on your bits and putting the focus on the feel good sensations. So the sensations of, wow, that feels really good when you press right there, or if you do this thing with your mouth, or if you talk to me in this way into my ear, it makes me feel really powerful, which can still make you feel like you're having that bit love or having those special moments, but not having to involve your bits.
How did you bring up this sort of alternative vocabulary with partners? Because I know that's a thing I've heard from people, that it's like, oh, well, this sounds good to me, but like, is that going to be weird when I try to express it to other people?
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually my partner who had the idea of naming my bits, which was incredibly helpful. So I think in my case, I got lucky, but I think for a lot of other partners or other couples where you're not necessarily sure of what your partner's reaction is going to be, is just coming from it and being like, hey, this really makes me happy, and I want to try calling my parts A and B, and just being like, I feel like it would make me feel more comfortable when we interact. It would be hotter, that kind of thing. Talking about the positives to using that just being like open and honest, being like, I don't know if this is going to work right now or if this is going to be the word that I identify with forever, but this is the word that I would like to try for at least once and see if it works.
I really like that because it's not like you're married to the term. Can be an experiment that like you both are sort of moving through together.
Yeah, and even just realizing that you can be completely cis, like 100% cis, and still name your bits. It doesn't have to be just like the queer or the trans end of the spectrum. It can be anybody can name their bits to feel more comfortable or give a body part a name that feels more applicable to them. Absolutely. If it feels more comfortable and it makes you feel like you have a better relationship either with yourself or with your partner, and you can communicate that, I'd say try.
Any closing thoughts for folks on this topic?
I think just listing out your like different bit names that you could have would be helpful, and you could just go rapid fire down the list.
I love it. Do like a brainstorming session.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kiani. That was a great look at the sort of the inventiveness that we can take with our sexuality and like our relationship with our bodies. So I really appreciate your perspective and for joining us for this Sex Advent.
Yeah, absolutely. Event. Thank you. I'm glad I could be here for this Sex Advent.
So for everyone watching at home, please stay tuned for more videos all through December. And if you have other topics that you want us to cover, please message us at intimatehealthconsulting.com/contact. Thank you.